It's time for more transfer news. Everything is happening fast. Manchester City and Liverpool, they are doing quick business, and it's interesting to see how the Premier League is shaping up, ahead of next season. But let's move on to the guys that are actually slowing things down. Arsenal. Victor, I know you've said this about a billion times, in our transfer episodes. Arsenal should get a damn striker, and it seems like they are not watching any of our videos anyways. But the latest news that made the rounds, in the past 24 hours is that Arsenal are close to signing Shesko, and then Arsenal are also in talks with the agent of Gyökeres at the same time. We know that it's not likely Arsenal would sign both, but in your opinion, why are the Gunners wasting time over this signing, and who do you think is more likely?
As for why they're wasting time, exactly, they should just be watching our videos. I think the fact that they're still in talks for both, I believe they're just playing the field here. Obviously, Gyökeres is the better choice here. I've said it. I sound like a broken record. I know. There's also now tension between the player and his club. Sporting apparently are going back on their word about the price tag. Sheshko is still a good choice, but are they really going to sign both? I mean, unless Arteta plans on switching to two up front, there's only one striker spot. When you're spending this much money, that striker should be starting. So yeah, I think they're just advancing on both fronts, and someone will be disappointed by the end of it.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But if I'm to just make a wild guess based on how things have gone, based on how Sporting are trying to, Portuguese sides are, you always say, they are notorious for, playing hardball, especially when it comes to Premier League teams. I think Chesko is looking like the more likely option at this point. But I mean,
In
I
which
mean, we
case,
never know.
somebody ends up disappointed, and I think it will be the Arsenal fans.
Yeah, to be the Arsenal fans, because most of the Arsenal fans, myself inclusive, we want Gyökeres. But yeah, Uh, moving on from Arsenal, and let's go to Manchester. Manchester United, according to the latest reports, are considering a swap deal. That will see Victor Osimhen join them, and we'll see Zirkzee go the other way. Of course, Napoli have made it clear that Osimhen is not in their plans, and they want him out of the club this summer. But do you think there is a chance of this materializing? And if it does happen, does this make sense for Manchester United?
I mean, definitely it's a good move for Man United. Obviously, they did almost nothing last season, and if you can bring Osimhen into the team, of course you want to do that. But I'm not sure that he himself wants to join a team that is not playing in European football, especially because he's not so young already. And there were like rumors about Arsenal as well, Chelsea, and other teams. Only if he really wants to play for Man United, it can happen. But otherwise, I guess it's not happening.
Yeah, fair enough. And over to you, Victor. This one is for you. It's not yet officially confirmed by Liverpool, but it's already more or less a formality at this point that Wirtz has more or less joined, the club in, in a major move that will see him become the Premier League's most expensive signing, and actually the third most expensive signing in football history. And we all know that transfer fees, come with expectations, huge transfer fees, ideally anything above £100 million. For a player like Vert, what do you think the minimum expectation would be, in terms of goals and assists next season? And do you think that transfer fee will affect his play on the pitch?
There's always a chance that a big fee like this for a young player might stunt their development. But personally, I trust Liverpool. They have a very good track record of handling players in that age bracket, early 20s. I personally don't expect him to come in and score 25 goals or whatever, especially since he won't be the focal point of the attack anyway. That'll still be Salah or maybe a new striker. But I think it's reasonable to expect him to get something like 15 to 20 goal contributions. So that's goals plus assists. The question is, would he be considered a flop if he only hits 10? Um,
Absolutely. It would be.
yeah, that's the thing. That's everybody's favorite sport, jumping to conclusions. And I'm sure a lot of people will be agreeing with you. Personally, I'm waiting for the eye test. There's a very good chance that he only gets like 12 goal contributions or something like that. But if he is the one that can really pull the strings and not necessarily be the assist, but the pre-assist pass in a lot of goal scoring scenarios for Liverpool, I would still qualify that as a success.
Okay, fair enough. And moving on to Chelsea. Chelsea are reportedly interested in Morgan Rogers, and Aston Villa would be looking to ask for around £80 million. Of course, we know Villa are under some sort of pressure to sell a couple players, due to PSR restrictions and all of that. But the question here is simple. Chelsea's interest in Morgan Rogers. We've mentioned about 100 million times, and in our transfer videos about how Chelsea have been interested in players that do not actually make sense for them at the moment. Would you count Morgan Rogers as another pointless interest, Max?
I mean, it seems like Chelsea are definitely watching our videos. They're just making fun of us. We talk about them all the time that they need a striker, but they almost every time we hear rumors, it's like winger, attacking midfielder. They have like 5 different players as good as Morgan Rogers a team, but they still want a more. But they're not signing striker. They can put almost same 80 mil for like player like Gyökeres, for example, and sign him and be a title contender almost. But they're still trying to sign another winger, and I don't get it actually.
Yeah, fair enough. And just on the final note, Victor, Yao Pedro has told Newcastle he's willing to join them. He's reportedly seeking an exit from Brighton, and Brighton are going to ask for around 60 million. And the question is simple: we know the Premier League comes with inflated prices, but is Pedro worth £60 million in this current market?
The short answer is hell no. This is one of the reasons why the Suns are so mad nowadays. Pedro for 60 makes you think that Newcastle are well within their rights to ask for 150 for Isak, which in itself is mental, right? Um, let's look at Joao Pedro. 19 goals in 58 games since joining Brighton. Before that, Watford, 3.5 years, 104 appearances, 23 goals. 60 million, that's just taking the piss. It's like Liverpool's demands for Nunez.
Exactly. Like when I saw the amount being thrown around, I actually thought it was something unreal, and I saw it was actually legit. In my opinion, Pedro should not be costing more than 30 to 35 million pounds.
Exactly.
In a normal market, Pedro should not be costing more than 30 to 35 million. But anyways, that is what comes with the Premier League. Everything is pretty inflated these days. And of course, given how clubs are running their business fast, we can expect that there will be more transfers to come before our next episode, and we'll be sure to bring all the latest talking points as they come.